Hey everybody, it's Heath West here at our second Treasure Coast Songwriters Festival, and a veteran of the festival is Sheena Brook.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
You were here for year one, back for year two. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. I was excited to be asked to come back.
So you are a Florida girl.
I am.
You grew up in Fort Myers?
I grew up in Fort Myers, and I briefly lived in Atlanta, but I came home quick. I am a Florida girl. I traveled to Nashville, which is why I know all these guys so well.
Right.
So I like to say maybe I split my time there, but
I was going to ask you, how often do you get up there?
probably, well, I used to get up there almost once a month. Now it's just sort of like when I can do it.
On appointment?
On appointment. I'm very, no.
I'm looking through my calendar. I can do June 5th.
Yeah, so I'm up there as often as I can be.
Yeah.
I love being up there. I'm just a Florida girl at heart, really.
With technology, if you want to do a songwriting session with a friend, a buddy, do you feel like you have to go and be with them?
No, not at all. Actually, one of the artists here, Sarah Dugue, we met in Nashville at an event, but we've never written in person. We write all the time via Zoom because I haven't been there when she's open. And then during COVID, Megan and I, who've been friends for ages, Megan Linville, who's also here, we wrote together more than we've ever written together because it's just easier. So we had like a standing weekly write for a while there.
Over Zoom.
Over Zoom. So I find that a Zoom write can be difficult if you don't know the person and it's your first time writing with them, because there's sometimes a write can really get to an intimate place. You're basically kind of introducing yourself, your whole self to a person for the first time, and that is sometimes better done in
two-dimensional form.
Yeah, it's definitely done better in person, but not impossible. But when you already kind of know and hang with someone or have written with them before, it's actually really easy. So,
speaking of writing, you were up on stage. You and Brian Sutherland
Yeah.
had started a song. Y'all had finished it, but you weren't satisfied with it.
Yeah, like 2019, 2018. It was an old song.
Is that something that maybe you've done more often than not, where you're like, this song, I know it has potential, but I'm just going to shelve it for weeks, months, years, come back to it later?
Not always, but yeah. I mean, I've heard people tell stories like that are incredible. Like, I think it was Alan Shamlin talking about The House That Built Me, and that it took him 15 years. I don't actually know the details, but an ungodly amount of time to write because it wasn't right, and then it was right, and then it wasn't right.
How do you remember that it's in the drawer somewhere,
Strangely about the song with Brian and I, my dad really likes the song. So when I'm playing an event, he'll sometimes ask me to play it.
Okay.
And I'm going, man, Dad, this isn't my best song. It's really good. It's close, but it's not my best song. And Brian and I have known each other for a while. He grew up in Florida too. And so I'm just like, hey, remember that song we wrote? My dad loves it. And then he texts me. He's like, "Do you want to make it right?" And we just went up to the hotel and made it. It's like
here,
right
That's
here.
That's awesome.
And it is. It's something now I'm just unbelievably proud of.
Yeah, I was going to say, finisst product. You're satisfied. Graded an A.
Yeah, graded an A. And that's just how it happens. I've done that with some of my own music too. One of the something I like to do that not everybody does is ask a friend to edit it.
Yeah.
My wife's very good at that for me. I'll play something for her, and
she'll
say, "Oh," and she knows me, and I know her, and she will be honest, and she'll be like, "I don't get it." And let me tell you, I either drop it or I rewrite it, and it's a good song.
Well,
and you need that. You need someone who will be honest with you, especially
I don't know how, as a songwriter, you sit there and go, yeah, that's good, that's done. I mean, I know probably in your mind you say it's never officially done, you know, but to actually go, I'm going to hand this off to somebody else to record, or I'm going to take this in to record and go, yes, it's done.
I mean, that's always the hope, I think, a lot of us, too. Like, you want to write something that's good enough to capture another person. Personally, I try to write something that is just honest. Mm-hmm. It's real, it's true. It's me. If it captures somebody else, great.
But it captured you.
But it captured me. And sometimes in that's where my wife comes in handy. She'll be like, I know that you're trying to tell a story, but no one knows it but you. And, maybe you should elaborate, or maybe you could do that. And then just those little tiny things, as someone she's not a musician, as an outside perspective, has always been a huge benefit to me. I can't speak for every other songwriter, but that's the beauty of co-writing too, because your co-writer, if you're comfortable, would be like, I hate that idea.
Right. If they're comfortable with you.
Yeah. Megan has told me that before. And I love her for that.
She strikes me as someone who will say her mind.
We have a song, Me, Her, and Danny, that I record. It's called Winner. And when we first started, I'll never forget, she was like, you guys, I hate this idea. And by the time we kind of got through it, Danny and I are like, no, trust, like, we got it. You're going to get it. And eventually she's like, okay, I get it. And she's jumping in, and now we're both, all three of us are spitting out lines and making a song. And I love that. I love that part of that song, too, because now it's one of all three of our favorites, too. It's It's great.
Well, thank you for coming to our second Treasure Coast Songwriters
Thank you for having me.
Festival.
Such a fun time.
Let's make it 3 in a row next year.
I hope so. I'll be waiting for the call.